create a new life. You cannot turn a stone into bread, but you can turn tears into happiness.
Thank you. Contemporary dance. So, before we watch a short documentary movie on the Holocaust, I would love to share with you one of the military spirit. I've read it on the platforms of US military. It says, I will be the first step in the field, the last step off. I will never leave anyone behind, dead or alive. That is the spirit that each and every one of us should be having. Because if you believe that you'll be the first step in the field, that means whenever there is a problem that needs a solution in the community, you'll be the first one. That means when you see that there is a very bad ideology which is growing up in the people that may result into a calamity, into such, let me say it, amahano, like that, you can be the first step in the field and find a solution to that. So I would love to come, and project it. It's a short documentary movie on the Holocaust.
Memory is what shapes us. Memory is what teaches us. We must understand that's where our redemption is.
I think the important thing to understand about this cataclysmic event is that it happened in the heart of Europe. Germany was respected around the world for its leading scientists, its physicians, its theologians. It was a very civilized, advanced country. It was a young democracy, but it was a democracy. And yet it descended not only into social collapse, but world war and eventually mass murder.
A strong man came to power in Germany whose ideas were that Germany has to create a national community which would include only the Aryan race, which he considered superior, and all the people who did not belong to the Aryan race could be eliminated. With planning and propaganda, he was able to convince most of the German people to go along with him, insensitive to what happened to the Jews who had basically been their former neighbors. And he managed to build concentration camps and killing centers and finally gas chambers to annihilate 6 million Jews, and at the same time also millions of others murdered in a systematic government-sponsored way.
And it's made up of so many people who participated in different ways, who made it possible.
People who follow orders without question. Bystanders who watch and do nothing. Ordinary men and women simply going with the flow.
The events and the results of the Holocaust were so devastating It was an extreme that we can barely imagine.
So mind-boggling that the temptations to forget and to repress, to just put it out of mind, are very real.
But we remember. We remember because it is an unthinkable scar on humanity. We need to
Respected around the world for its leading scientists, its physicians, its theologians. It was a very civilized, advanced country.
We gather today to mourn the loss of so many lives and celebrate those who saved them, honor those who survived, and contemplate the obligations of the living.
Days of Remembrance is our nation's annual commemoration of the Holocaust. This time that was both a blight on the history of humanity, but also a shining moment for the people who were brave enough to put an end to it.
We are remembering, first and foremost, all the victims. And that is not only the Jewish victims, but there were many non-Jewish victims. Of course, the Jews were the primary target.
The millions of innocent people, including my family and friends, who were killed because they were of the wrong religion, because they had no means of protecting themselves.
It's also important to remember the rescuers. These were people who risked not only their own lives, sometimes the lives of their family, to save a fellow human being. And we also remember our American soldiers who were fighting to win World War II, and in the course of that, liberated these concentration camps.
Those that arrived at the camps in 1945 and were just horrified with what they saw.
That was a huge task for the American soldiers to help bring humanity back to these people who had been dehumanized for years, to give them medical care.
Looking back allows us to understand how important it is for us to serve in a country where we have the strength and the might and the will to defend those that are defenseless.
So Days of Remembrance is an opportunity for us to remember the suffering that was and the efforts that were made to put an end to such suffering. And it's a call to conscience today in our world to make sure that we aren't the silent ones standing by, contributing to the suffering of others.
In 1945, at the end of the war, I would have thought that there would never be another Holocaust, that the world was so shocked by what had happened, that the world would not permit that. And yet you see what happened in Bosnia, what happened in Rwanda, what happened in Darfur. So there's still millions of people being persecuted because of their ethnicity.
It's really a moral challenge to us to do more in our own lives when we confront injustice or hatred or genocide.
Those who suffered and died in the Holocaust, we can honor them today by not being silent. Remembering ties the past and the present together with a powerful, simple thread. This is not right.
The important thing is that one should not become indifferent to the suffering of others, that one should not stand by and just raise one's hands and say, there's nothing I can do, I'm just a little one person. Because I think what every one of us does matters.
It's not enough to curse the darkness of the past. above all, we have to illuminate the future. And I think that on the day of remembrance, the most important thing is to remember the humanity that is in all of us, to leave the world better for our children and for posterity.
I hope we have learned a lot from the documentary. Me, I quoted that everything you do matters. That's why Anne Heyman thought that even though I'm a Jew, but there are people in Rwanda who are suffering. There are people in Rwanda whom we share the same history of genocide. So that's why she came up with an idea of bringing this Agahozo-Shalom youth village that transformed and that is still transforming the lives of many Rwandans and other Burundians from Mahama camp. So whatever you do, remember that it matters. You may call something very small, you may call it small, but that thing you call small, it may occupy a very big part of someone's heart. So never think that this thing I'm going to do is very small. No, whatever you do matters. And also about humanity, there is something in common we have. Maybe I may be tall, you may be short, I may be big and you're slim, but we all share the humanity. Whatever you do, remember that your neighbor is a human being. Once you see that person as a problem, you are humanizing that person. And that is the first step of losing your humanity. Whenever you see someone as a problem, whenever you see someone as another thing, you call them other names, you try to relate them with animals, that means you are losing your humanity. So this is time to remember and also time to reflect. How are we behaving? Where do we pass? And whatever we do, as I said, may reflect the core values that we have here and the values as Rwandans we have. So without taking much of the time, I would love to welcome Auntie Phyllis for the song. I think we have learned this song last night, so thank you.
Thank you for speaking with such wisdom tonight. Everyone in this room is a survivor. You all have your stories, but together, survivors can thrive. So as quietly as you can stand up, let's come together and change the world.
Is what we need. Love.
Thank you. This was a very good song. And since last night, it joined on the list of my favorite songs. So love is what we need as the whole world together. Love is what drives us to our success. You can achieve a lot, like Adolf Hitler. I don't know him that much, but I know he had a lot of wealth. But because of lack of love, the whole world knows this man as the man who killed numerous people, as the coward. We don't have to remember only heroes. I'm telling you the truth. Even coward. We have to keep those cowards in our memories. We have to know that they were the cowards so that we can fight against that enmity, that thing of trying to be jealousy, selfish, anything that make you a coward. That's why we also have to know that there are cowards who lived in our world. So, again, on this topic of love, love is what we need, as we have seen. There is a winner in you. We can change the world. But you become a winner once you love your neighbor. You become a winner when you love yourself. You become a winner if you love your country. You become a winner if you love the continent you live in. And you become a winner if you love the world. That's the beginning of changing the world. You cannot change the world, yet you don't have love for the world. So we need to have love in order to change the world. So I'm very sorry. I'm going to give you a very short testimony. I came here, I was on the reserve list. I was not chosen to be here, but I was on the reserve list. And I thank a guy who refused to come to repeat. I thank him very much. I don't know him, but if I meet him, I can just say thank you because he gave me an opportunity of being here. So after reaching here, I said, I came here because of God's plan. Because if it was not God's plan, I wouldn't be here. But if God accepted me to be here, yet I was on the reserve list. I was not alone on the reserve list, but they chose me to be here. So what can I do? Only thing I did, maybe, it's forgiveness for sure. Forgiveness. I had a person who broke my heart, and I didn't know that I can forgive that person. Because it is very difficult to forgive a person who were meant to give you happiness, and that person gave you unhappiness. It was very difficult for me. But after reaching here, I said, according to the history of this school, according to the history of this organization, a person from all over the way from Middle East came here to change the world. So who am I to deny to give forgiveness to the person whom we share blood? And I made a decision that I may achieve a lot, but if I don't forgive that person, I will never get peace of mind. I will never get any happiness. So that's why I decided to move forward and forgive that person. So as you have seen this song, love is characterized by forgiveness. If you don't forgive, you don't have love. That's true. So as we remember, we have to keep in mind that we have to be driven by love in order to prevent any other amahano like that to happen again in the world. So I would love to welcome SIFA Institute for Citizenship, Emeline and Kaitesi Ruth for their presentation. As we are waiting for them, they are going to present to us the program that we are going to be having all over this week as SIFA. It was prepared by SIFA Institute for Citizenship, so Ruth can tell us more about it.
Good evening. As he said, my name is Kaitesoroth, and I'm going to be with my partner, Emeline. We are going to tell you more about the Umunyarwanda program, but we are so sorry because it's in the Umunyarwanda program. We are going to explain it in Kinyarwanda. Thank you.
Good evening. As my colleague said, starting from today up to Thursday, we are going to have the Umunyarwanda week, where we'll be having different activities that you're going to see. Okay. The Umunyarwanda, we're just going to start with the meaning.
Ndi Umunyarwanda ni ukwiyumvamo isano ihuza abanyarwanda batewe ishema no kuba abanyarwanda. Nkuko turi abanyarwanda, iyi program yatangijwe nkuko turi kwegera umunsi w'intwari. Iyo program ihari kugira ngo idufashe kumva nk'abanyarwanda, twiyumve nk'abanyarwanda, ikindi bidufashe kurushaho gutegura umunsi w'intwari.
Nkuko mugenzi wanjye yarabivuze, impamvu nyamukuru ya Ndi Umunyarwanda week ni ukugira ngo twiyumvemo ubunyarwanda, dukumira ingengabitekerezo kandi dukorera hamwe nk'abanyarwanda. Hari ingingo 3 zigize Ndi Umunyarwanda. Ingingo ya mbere hari ukubanza kwiyumvamo ko twese turi abanyarwanda, atari amoko dusanzwe twigeze kumva mu mateka yacu, abahutu, abatutsi cyangwa abatwa. Twese turi abanyarwanda. Ya kabiri ni ukugira indangagaciro. Mu ndangagaciro ziranga abanyarwanda tugiramo gukunda igihugu, gukorera hamwe ndetse n'izindi. Iya gatatu, ingingo ya gatatu ni kirazira. Muri kirazira z'abanyarwanda harimo urugero nko kutagambanira igihugu n'izindi zitandukanye, tuzazivugaho muri iki cyumweru. Icyo Ndi Umunyarwanda igamije, icya mbere ari ukwiyumvamo ubunyarwanda mbere y'ibindi. Mu kwiyumvamo ubunyarwanda nk'uko nabivuze, tugomba kumva ko twese turi abanyarwanda, kugira ngo dukumire ko amateka mabi yakisubiramo nk'uko byabaye mu 1999. 94 mu mbabarire.
Hano hari ibikorwa bizakorwa kugira ngo Ndi Umunyarwanda, icyumweru cyahariwe Ndi Umunyarwanda kizagende neza. Hari umuganda uzaba kwa gatandatu, tuzagira igihe cyo kwiga indirimbo yubahiriza igihugu cyacu. Igihe cyose tugiye kuri school assembly haba ikibazo cy'uko school principal na dean of students bahora batubwira ngo indirimbo y'igihugu tugomba kuyiha agaciro. Biratangaje kubona dean of students aririmba indirimbo y'igihugu, wowe wavukiye mu Rwanda ukaharererwa ukahigira utayizi. Biba bigaragaza ko ntago wubaha igihugu cyawe, ntago ukunda igihugu cyawe. Kandi niba uri umunyarwanda ugomba kubaha indirimbo y'igihugu cyawe, kuko iyo wubashye indirimbo y'igihugu cyawe bigaragaza iyo ndangagaciro y'ubunyarwanda wifitemo muri wowe. Ikindi tuzagira icyo twise visit to inspire. Visit to inspire ni ugusura clubs. Muzabona amatopic yo kuvugaho ajyanye na Ndi Umunyarwanda, kugira ngo twese turusheho kwiyumva nk'abanyarwanda, kandi dutekereza n'ibisubizo twazana ku bibazo biri mu gihugu cyacu, mbere y'uko dukemura ibibazo by'ahandi cyangwa twumva ko uri bushakire umuti undi muntu. Ubwawe ugomba kubanza kwishakira umuti w'ikibazo ufite, utarinze guhamagara abandi bantu ngo baze bagufashe muri icyo kintu. abaperezida b'amaclubs turabasabye nitubahamagara tubashaka kubaha ubwo teams muzavugaho ntimuzange kwitabira ubutumire bwacu. Ikindi tuzagira assessment muri famille mu mafamiye yacu kuwa gatatu aho tuzaba twibaza kuri ndi umunyarwanda ku kirangantego cy'igihugu. Muri make tuzaba turi kuvuga ku bintu bigize igihugu cyacu, pillars z'igihugu cyacu hafi ya twese ntazo tuzi kandi turi abanyarwanda. Icyo nicyo usanga hari ikibazo Teacher Hilary ajya akunda kutubaza ngo niki kikugaragaza ko uri umunyarwanda. Mu by'ukuri hafi ya twese ugasanga nta gisubizo ufite kandi uri umunyarwanda. Bivuze ko iyi program yaje kugira ngo ibyo bibazo byose bisubizwe. Umuntu nakubaza ngo niki kigaragaza ko uri umunyarwanda, uhagarare ubwawe uhamye ushimangire umwereke ikigaragaza ko uri umunyarwanda koko, apana kuvuga ngo urazana imico y'abandi cyangwa se uravuga ngo ndi umuntu twese turi abantu. Iyo uvuze ngo uri umuntu ntago uba ugaragaje itandukaniro ryawe n'undi muntu wo mu kindi gihugu. Mugenzi wanjye niba afite icyo wakongeraho. Murakoze.
Murakoze. Iki gikorwa kizakorwa cya assignment ni ukugira ngo twese duhurize hamwe ubumenyi dufite ku bigize igihugu cyacu. Iyi assignment izaba ku wa gatatu. Hari ababa bafite, nizera ko abantu bose baba bafite family time, abatazaba bayifite ni ugushaka undi munsi. Murakoze, tuzitabire iki gikorwa mu maklabu yacu, tukiganireho kandi tubizirikane ko turi abanyarwanda, tube abanyarwanda koko, atari byo kuvuga nyine y'amoko yo mu 1994. Murakoze.
Thank you. For more clarification, on Sunday in Ganji grade they have star. That's why we shifted this session of of revising national anthem on Thursday, the next Thursday. So in Ganji be ready. And again, Wednesday, if we have the night of remembering our mother Anne Heyman, then the assignment will be done on Tuesday. Yeah, again, the aim of this program is that we learn as we strengthen our patriotism. Everything we do is in line with patriotism. Not only patriotism on the country, but also on the world, because we strive to change the world. But before you change the world, you have to change yourself. After changing yourself, you change your community. After changing your community, you change the nation, the continent, and the world at large. So I would love to welcome Auntie Phyllis again, and country director, for blowing out candles.
יהיה לנו רע, אין דבר, זה לא נורא. אמרו את זה קודם, לפניי, זה לא משנה. אני ואתה נשנה את העולם.
Good evening. It makes me proud and happy to hear someone like him saying what he's saying, to hear the young ladies presenting about Ndumunyarwanda, and knowing how young you are, I am proud that Rwanda and the world have a better future, because these are the kinds of minds that we need, the kind of speeches that we need to make Rwanda, to make the world a better future. These are the kind of people we need if we want to make never again a reality. ASYV was founded because of the history that Rwanda shares with Israel and the Jewish people. The history of the Holocaust, of the genocide, a place where we know people died just because they are people, just because of who they are. People were killed just because of how they were born, something they had never chosen themselves. And that was done by people. People, the short movie talked about there is politics. The people who do their politics and they bring things down. They tell you, please hate your neighbor. And the clip talked about the people who act without questioning anything. And it also talked about bypassers who see things without doing anything. When those two are combined, the results become what we have seen happen to the Jewish people, happened to Tutsi in Rwanda in 1994. This is one of the reasons why critical thinking is one of the pillars of the teaching here at ASYV in the entire Rwanda. That is why we have the core values that we have, because we know that you are not just to be told, hate your neighbor and do it without questioning, why should I hate this person? It doesn't make sense. You are the person that is going to see something happening and you'll be able to say, no, this is not right. That's who we are raising in you. That's who we believe you're going to be. And if you become that person, the word Rwanda is in safe hands. The word is in hands of the people that believe in humanity, believe in doing the good, believe in fairness and love. Love is all we need to not be able to hurt our neighbor, to hurt our friend. And those are the values you need to learn as a person, as a young person, as a person who still has a future a long time to live in this world. As a person who wants to make a difference, we talked about never again, 1945, but it kept happening. And it kept happening. It came to Rwanda, 1994. It came to Bosnia. It went to Bosnia. It went to different other places. But that is because they did not have people like you. Be the person who say, we mean it. It will never happen again. If you do that, it will never happen again. Today, as we remember the Holocaust, it brings back all the memories, the story of the life they went through. It's been some years back, but in the survivors' memories, they think about it, they remember it as it happened just yesterday. This is something that affects generations. It's been 30 years since the genocide against the Tutsi happened in Rwanda. And you can see the consequences today in the old people, in the young generation. It takes generations. It's something terrible, something bad. And thank you for saying this can never happen again in my eyes, in my living in the world. Because that's what we need from you, and everyone else in the world, old or young. But the youth are the key to anything that the world is going to be tomorrow. Thank you so much for being so calm and being part of today. Let's continue to remember. Let's continue to be inform ourselves, and with the purpose of it should never happen again. And I'm saying, every one of you saying, I am the reason it is never going to happen again. Thank you so much. And with that, I would say, Shabbat Shalom.